And hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Crusaders Side Stories. I'm your DM, Brad. Joining me today is James. We are playing through Alexei's downtime here. And in addition to that, my fellow friends and associates who I have asked to come in and play these mercenaries to assist in his downtime. Say hello, everybody.
Hi
Hello,
everyone.
Hello,
everybody.
everybody.
They did it. They did it.
Hi.
They
Brad,
followed
Also,
instructions.
also, please don't forget our star mascot and all-around savior, Pascal.
Of course,
Brad,
who could
please don't
ever
forget
forget?
Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
Who could ever forget the goodest of boys, Pascal? Yes. So we are going to go ahead and get started here. But before we do, as is tradition, one of the players shall be giving the recap, and that player is James because this is his adventure. So I'll be damned if I'm going to let him forget anything that happens. So. Why don't you tell us what happened last time, James?
So, last time on Alexei's solo adventure with hired thugs, we made our way up the mountain and arrived at the tower that was once home to the mages Ilumar and Amari. As we were trying to get through the door, it became apparent that it was being held shut by a sentient magical being by the name of Sam, standing for Structure for Assisted Magic. Alexei knew that on that part of the mission to get the tower was to come and recover any research material regarding some sort of sentient magic assistant, so it seemed that whatever research they were doing at least bore fruit. It took some convincing for Sam to allow us through, but after Alexei said that she was sent by the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors to verify the research made by Ilumar and Amari, Sam checked his databanks, her databanks, its databanks, and determined that yes, the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors are considered benefactors of the creators, and thus they were let through. Coming in, they first made a left-hand turn into what appeared to be the library. The library was had books skewered all across the floor and scattered all over the place, anywhere but the bookshelf, except for one bookshelf, mind you. Inspecting the pages, they all appeared to be blank, as if there was never any text in them whatsoever. On questioning Sam about this, Sam stated that apparently the books and their knowledge had been processed and taken into Sam's databanks. We weren't able to get any concrete details on what exactly this meant, as Sam either was seeming evasive or just faulty because we weren't asking the right questions. Either way, Alexei
Or
then made
just
her way
being a
to
smart ass.
one of maybe that as well. Alexei then made her way to the one bookshelf that appeared to still have books on it that Sam indicated was one that was forbidden for Sam to process by Ilumar and Amari. So she made her way over, grabbed the book, and was then proceeded to almost be devoured by a mimic. After the mimic was slain, Alexei came into possession of a book, however, a research book that apparently had notes regarding the development of Sam, and even mentioned another individual by the name of Xcore, who unfortunately looks like that they had died in the I want to say in the greenhouse area due to some sort of malfunction in the weather controls. Asking Sam about this, Sam confirmed yes, that appeared definitely happened. Asking why, well, apparently there was no concrete answer about that either. So, then moving back into the hallway and taking the door on the left, they found what appeared to be some residential quarters that were once home to the Amari, X-Core, and Illumar. They found what appeared to be a key and an arcane focus of X-Cores. Taking that key, they then made their way into the greenhouse, using the key to unlock the door, and were then attacked by a shambling mound and what appeared to be some sort of tree thing. The shambling mound almost killed Elenara and Captain Reynard. However, after both were swiftly dealt with, they were luckily saved from the brink of death. I think they had both 2 failed death saves each, actually, so holy crap. And after that, I suppose we just like settle down for some quick healing, and that's basically where we left off.
Yes, of course. And the most important thing was Pascal playing with the ball the whole time. All right. Yeah. So getting back in, we basically join as you guys have kind of taken a few moments to like stabilize yourselves, kind of tend to the wounds as best you can. The creatures that attacked you are no longer living, and their remains sort of scattered on the floor. These like now very rapidly rotting sort of plant creatures. And you can see now a bit more clearly that there appears to be like another door further like across on the other side of the room that you couldn't quite see from the entrance due to the large trees kind of like obscuring everything. But there is another door on the opposite side of the room, which is similar to the one that you entered, sort of like closed and seems to be sort of like held shut. There's like a big like glowing red rune on it.
I sort of look at the door, and I'll sort of call out, Sam, where does that door lead to?
And said, "That door leads further beyond into the grand workshop."
And are we still forbidden from entering?
And he says, "I am still processing that information. For the time being, I can not permit you entry."
I'll sort of turn around to the rest of the company and say, well, maybe we should take some rest. I feel like we've all gotten quite hurt in the last encounter, and maybe we could take the time to recover a bit.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds great. Meanwhile, Catherine, can you get this slime off me, please?
Yeah, of course. I prestidigitate any remaining plant juices off of her.
Yeah, so you sort of magic away the kind of like goop and acid of this plant creature.
I will immediately go running off to start seeing what I can cook.
Sure. Yeah, so I guess you guys are all heading back to the sort of empty rooms. Sure thing. Yeah, so as you guys are making your way back there, kind of splitting up the rooms however you wish, you can see looking around in the like kitchen area, Dizzy, it becomes quite clear to you that any like supplies that were here before have all since like long sort of like spoiled and gone off. So there's not really much like here to cook with beyond like your own whatever you brought with you. So you can definitely kind of like try to like whip something up, maybe like go and pick some of the strange plants from the greenhouse. But there's not a whole lot to like work with in terms of provisions.
I'll make do with what I've got.
But yeah, you start working on something.
There goes my hope of dinner.
Hey, I am a great cook. I can make a feast out of anything.
Why don't you want to eat like the experimental magical plant matter like in the greenhouse? I don't understand. I'm sure it's all fine.
How about you eat it first, and we'll see what happens.
Then I hire
If
you
you
to do the
start
dangerous work for
glowing
me.
or suddenly sprout tentacles, we will reconsider.
I will say you do all still feel sort of like full and nourished from the refreshments that you partook earlier, although they were not exactly delicious. They were filling in that regard.
Do we ask Sam for some food? I kind of don't. I don't want to myself.
I do ask Sam if we do take like a break in here, if they can let us know if there's any more visitors or people showing up at the front door, or just tell us if they're okay with that.
Yeah, so they say, I suppose I can do that, although I am quite curious as to why.
It'd just be nice for us to know ahead of time, this type of thing. Like, surprises are never fun when they're done by someone that you don't even know is coming, you know? Like, if you don't know the person that surprises you, it's not really a fun surprise.
And he says, you are expecting more surprise visitors.
I hope not.
And, yeah, so the workshop sort of says, very well, I shall endeavor to alert you.
Okay.
He says,
So, if Captain Raynar is speaking to Sam in the other room, Like, we don't hear that, do we? Or do we just hear a one-sided conversation all around us?
No, so like the voice is only like if a specific person is talking in like a room, it's only in that room. So like you don't hear.
Okay.
It seems like Sam is capable of like projecting its voice into like specific rooms, or as like a system wide like message.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So as you're all like settling down, Captain Reynard, you're kind of like, I assume basically like the rest of you are kind of like bunking up, and then Captain Reynard's on his own, being like the only male in the group or whatever.
Or maybe he's just smelly from the plant.
Or maybe he's just
and
smelly
we
you
decided
just shunned him.
to
He's
put
just
him
scared.
into quarantine.
Scared.
Mhm.
So yeah, Captain Reynard in your room, as everybody's like settling down, Dizzy's still cooking the meal. You see the runes like in the room kind of like begin to glow, and then there's a voice that like echoes through the room, and only you hear this, and it sort of says, "I was curious. I have a question, if you don't mind me asking."
Sure.
And he says, "I noticed before when you were engaged in combat, one of your companions went down, and you rushed in to attempt to save them. I was curious as to the reason why. This seems to be quite against the instinct of self-preservation I am told that you organic creatures have."
Sometimes you have to weigh self-preservation against things like responsibility and duty. In my regard, some people would rush in because they care about somebody. In this instance, I'm in charge of this group, so I'm responsible if any of them were to die. It's my job to protect them if I can.
So you are saying it is out of a sense of responsibility and not because you actually care about their well-being.
Correct.
And he says, "Interesting. I have noted this for my databanks."
Fuck you too, bro. I don't like you either.
Captain
Damn.
are not bringing up this little AI as you should
At
be.
least Pascal likes us.
It was the worst
Pet
time.
Pascal.
Catherine Reynard is the worst person to teach this AI anything.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
Sam will probably not grow up to be a real boy.
and then meanwhile, we'll say in Elvira and Eleanor's room, you similarly see like at the same time, almost like these two things are happening at once. There's like runes kind of like glowing in your room, and you hear a voice kind of like in the chamber, and it sort of says, "I noticed that you, in particular, Elvira, I believe you are called, had high levels of stress factor earlier. I have come to an understanding that mood lighting can assist in the relief of stress." And you see like the room begins to like dim, and then these like little like globules of glowing light begin to like drift through the room, like sort of slowly cycling between like cool colors and like projecting like these patterns on the wall.
Oh, a nightlight. Thank you, Sam.
It says, "You are welcome."
Pascal tries to catch one.
Yeah, it like chomps like its mouth around it, and then it's like glowing from the inside in like different colors through the seams.
Pascal, you're adorable.
Just barks affectionately. Yeah, so as you guys are like kind of like heading down to bed, I think basically like the last thing, Dizzy, as you're kind of in the kitchen, you hear like Sam's voice echoing over the speakers, and it sort of says, "I can see that you have taken the liberty of utilizing the kitchen for your cooking, I assume. You are well aware that I am equipped with the ability to produce food. This is entirely unnecessary."
Yeah, but that stuff was boring.
Says, "It was boring. How? Can you please describe to me?"
The taste, just all function.
And he just sort of says, "I am
You
afraid
need like
I do
sugar
not
and
understand. Is
other good stuff.
the whole point of intaking food, not to just maintain a source of energy. That is entirely function.
Someday when you have taste buds, you'll understand.
I am not quite sure that I will. But perhaps you can help me to understand.
Well, I'm making cookies. I don't think you have any way to try them, though.
Cookies.
This is, although I do not possess a digestive system like organic creatures, I can process them.
Okay. Where do I put it?
And, sort of sees, there is a rune etched on the table, and you can, like, see, like, basically, like, this rune kind of, like, begins to glow on one of, like, the stone work tables. And it sort of says, if you place it on there, I can process it.
Once I'm done, I'll put one there.
Okay, yeah, so you, like, finish baking cookies or whatever. And, yeah, when you place one on this, like, rune, it, like, glows, and you watch, basically, as it kind of, like, this cookie basically, like, de-reses, right? It just sort of, like, disintegrates. Like, Sam immediately begins, like, listing off, like, the chemical compound of everything, like, within this cookie, and it just sort of says, chemical data for cookie has been processed and added to the database. I should be able to replicate this recipe now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so other than that, I think that is pretty much everything that happens basically as you guys are settling. And I assume you guys are, like, taking a long rest at this point.
I'm gonna
Yes,
knock on Alexei's
please.
door first.
Okay. Yeah, you hear a knock
Come
on
in.
the door.
Hey, you want a cookie?
Yes. I'll, like, shuffle over to get one immediately.
So what was that book you found?
Hey, come on, leave some for the rest of us.
I, like, while chomping on a cookie, it's like, oh yeah, this book. These are really good. Yes, these appear to be research notes left behind by, or at least some of them, left behind by Ilumar and Amari. Although, as Sam said, there's probably more elsewhere. This was the only one that I found.
Anything cool?
Just some notes about Sam and his creation. Nothing really concrete. I'm afraid I'll probably need to get more in order to take back to the Order, sadly.
Can I see it?
Sure. I'll hand it over.
Does it make any sense?
I would say, like, bits and pieces of it, maybe, but it is, like, on a level, like, far beyond, like, what you are capable of understanding at your current level, quote unquote. It's definitely, like, there are definitely, like, parts of it, like, bits and pieces and, like, theories that you, like, understand, but then they conceptualize them and take them to, like, entirely new levels and apply them in ways you had never even comprehended to attempt. So you could probably, like, take the time to, like, study it and figure it out, but currently, like, just, like, looking at it, it is mostly nonsense.
Oh, there's a lot here.
I know. I'm struggling to understand some of the stuff that they've done as well. It seems that they were being highly experimental.
I hope you find more.
Me
It's all
too.
very
Do
interesting. Maybe someday I could teach Pascal to talk.
you think you could?
Maybe.
Wow.
It doesn't seem all that different conceptually, Sam.
I know, and I'll say it's like, that would be quite an achievement. You should definitely try.
Oh, I will. Then I'll always have someone to...
You see Alexei going for, like, one more cookie?
Go for it.
Sweet. More cookie.
All right. Yeah, so Alexei grabs another
Patton, you want
cookie.
a cookie?
I'm probably good. I'm just gonna lay down a little bit.
Should
I'm a
I-
little sore.
Should I lock the hallway door?
If there's a
Hey,
lock
he's
on
an
that
imposter.
door,
He doesn't want cookies. I'm
I can-
suspicious of him.
I mean, I can lock any door.
true. If you want to do that, you can. It does cost some pretty serious resources, but if it's something you'd like to do, we can do it.
Wall of sand.
All right, I'll cast
Let's
Arcane
see.
Lock on this hallway door. Shit.
Sure, yeah. You cast this spell, and there's like this shimmering barrier that appears on the door temporarily before it like fades out of sight. And it is
I'm
now
gonna
in
be
order.
like, you can't lock this door and dispel magics or something.
And then I will return
Well,
to the
in-
room and share the cookies with everyone else.
So what spell do we have in here?
Arcane Lock.
Arcane Lock. It is a spell that puts a magical lock on a door that makes it harder to open.
Mhm.
That is,
So you don't
Any
trust
one of us
Sam
can open it
after
easily.
all.
yeah. You can set like a password too, and like designate creatures to be able to just open it.
Ooh.
But for other people, it is very difficult to get through.
Brad, you know,
Yes.
Alexei feels it's been a stressful day. Time for some wine. I like make my alchemy jug produce wine. A gallon of wine.
Alright, yeah, so you summon this like gallon of wine for this alchemy jug, like pouring it out. And yeah, you begin like as you begin like drinking, you hear like a voice in your room. It sort of says, I am detecting heightened levels of stress, activating mood lighting, and it like similarly to the other room, like these kind of globules of like dancing lights kind of like appear, and the room dims, and it sort of says, I am also equipped with knowledge that imbibing alcoholic beverages can lead to a hangover. It is recommended that you stay hydrated. And you see like a small like sort of glass of water kind of like materializes.
Oh, thank you. I'll like grab the water. Okay.
Every time you say that Sam puts on mood lighting, I'm also picturing that it does like
Wow.
yeah. Wow.
You know, I was thinking as well. Like Alexei would think for a moment. It's like, Sam, can you produce music?
And he says,
Sam
Unfor-
is supposed to ask, "What's music?"
yeah, it says, I'm not exactly sure what it is you are, what it exactly it is that you mean. What is music? I have no such thing in my database.
Ah. Oh, never mind then. I don't really think I could explain it.
Yeah, so the lighting sort of turns like a little like blue, and it says, I am sorry that I have disappointed you.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but yeah, there is if there's anybody else that wants to do anything otherwise, you guys will be able to.
I want to finally have a cookie, please.
Same.
Cookie.
I brought.
I'll offer you some wine.
I don't
Grab
want your
like
wine,
3
thank you. I
cookies
want
off
this is
the
cookies.
plate.
Cookies and wine.
The classic
Are you
combo.
sure they go along together well?
I'm not exactly sure about that, but you know what?
I can't say I've ever tried.
Anyways,
I think cookies and wine probably go together pretty well.
I mean, the Italians have like bread and wine. Like cookies is just like, you know, similar, I guess.
It's nothing like bread.
Cookies are like sad food, and wine is like
Oh my
sad
God.
drink. So I mean, you know, like something they go together.
Cookies are not necessarily sad food.
They're sad food. You eat
You can also
cookies
just
when
eat them when
Cookies.
you're happy, you know?
I mean, you can also
Cookies
just drink
are a
wine
very
when you're
happy food.
too. Mm.
Cookies, hot chocolate, rooftop.
Rooftop.
Rooftop is
well,
also-
I'm sorry,
food now?
I thought you said roof tar for a second there. I was like, what?
yeah, some
What?
tar from a roof. You know, when you're laying down some
Delicious
To be
roof
fair,
tar.
tart is not a bad idea.
Oh.
During our rest, at some point, I think I'd just turn invisible.
Oh, yeah, as you do.
I do, and see if Sam has any reaction, basically.
Captain Reynard's gone, everyone!
I assume
I'm
you're
just
like
curious.
casting a spell.
Yep.
I don't think it like has a I guess well, I guess like the reaction would be sort of like as you're like doing it in like you said like the middle of the middle of the night or whatever.
Yeah, at some point in time during our rest.
Uh,
Before we're
yeah,
done.
yeah. So you hear like a voice in your room, and it sort of says, "I'm detecting the casting of magic spells within this room. Is something of the matter?"
No, I was just curious if you were concerned by magic in all rooms or just specific like workshop rooms and the other room. I was just curious if it mattered if we cast a spell in here.
And it just sort of says, "Well, so long as you are not in any danger, I suppose it is okay. Although I am curious as to why you are casting spells at this time of night. Surely you should be asleep."
Oh yeah, of course. It helps me sleep. You know, to make sure I get my some of my magic cast done in the day. Gotta keep myself up to shape. You know, staying wary. Make sure I have all my stuff available to me, and then I'm able to do it. I guess I drop it like if I mean I guess Sam doesn't really see things per se, you know, so I can't determine if Sam like knows them where I met in the room. I'm just curious if Sam like has pinpointed.
I'm
where I
pretty
am.
sure he's spying on you for some infrared, or I don't know,
I mean,
sonar
from-
thingy.
From like what you've like seen so far, you could probably infer that he can like detect like when creatures are in a room, but you're not sure if you can detect where they are in the room.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. I just go back to sleep after that. That's fine.
Sure. Anybody else, or can we just
One last thing.
Okay.
Olvera, do you think it might be a good idea if we keep watch throughout the night and just switch shifts, basically? Like, I'm not sure if this place is very safe.
That's actually a good idea. You know, our employer's drunken snoring could either scare everyone off or attract someone wanted attention.
That is
I
very
guess
true.
I'll take first watch.
Alright,
Alexei's
I'll
not an
switch with you
elegant
halfway
sleeper.
through.
Okay. So yeah, Olvera, you stay up, sort of taking a first watch, like standing out in the hallway to keep an eye out on all the rooms. Like, where are you watching from, basically?
Pascal will hang out with you.
Yes, Pascal the trusty companion. Sam, can you change the pattern of the lights, please?
He says, "I can, although I am curious. What are you doing?"
I am keeping watch, and I would like to be entertained in some way.
And he sort of says, "Very well. What are you keeping watch from?"
You know those surprises Cap mentioned earlier? I'm actually
Broke
looking
AI.
forward to them and hoping they will come. So keeping an eye for surprises.
I see. Well, if you are having trouble sleeping, I can assist you.
Oh no!
Oh no, that's fine. I'd like to stay awake for surprises, and it's my turn to be on the lookout for them. So please, if you have anything to keep me help me stay awake, in fact, I would appreciate it.
And it sort of says, "Very well. Although I would caution you against staying up too late. Organic creatures such as yourself require sleep for mandatory bodily functions." Yeah, like it begins sort of like adjusting the lights in different patterns or whatever. Like however you like request them, it like does its best to like make the lights change and shift around. Yeah, and then I guess Eleonora eventually like over like the first half of this like watch. You can't keep watch like all night. You can basically do 2 hours at most. So you wake up Eleonora for her shift, and you head to sleep yourself. And yeah, I don't think like Sam like has any like further questions about it. He just weird the organic
Weird human
yeah,
behavior.
like weird organic being behavior. And you are all able to successfully complete your long rest. So what that means for all of you is that you will recover any hit points that you are missing. So you recover up to full hit points. You recover any spell slots that you have used, so you are full on spell slots. You will recover any sort of abilities that had been expended so from your like class features and whatnot, and you recover half of your spent hit dice.
Welcome back, spell slots.
So what if you only
And
spend
you lose
one hit
exhaustion if you
dice?
had
Do you
it.
get it back?
Yes, you get half of your max back, so you get it back.
Oh, half of your max. Okay.
Also, we're no longer exhausted.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
And in the case of you guys, as because you are at an odd number, most things in D&D when you're at an odd number and you're dividing, you would round down on the result, but hit dice you round up.
Interesting.
Just because, like, if you're level 1 and you only recover half of your hit points and round down, then you don't get any hit dice
Yeah.
back ever. So it's a round up thing.
Yeah. So for us, we can get up to 3, and for, I think, our employer gets 4 or something. Right?
Yes, sir.
So hit dice is. Wait,
Yeah, so
what did I do with the hit dice?
They're in
you
the-
yeah, they're in the center, kind of like underneath your hit points and whatnot.
So if I have
Aw.
3 at the moment, I get all the way up to 5?
Yep, you would recover the 2 that you are missing, and you now have 5 again.
Brad, can I level up to level 11 and get Tensor's transformation,
No.
please? Pretty
No.
please. Fine.
You've got some giant lords to kill if you want to gain more levels, my friend.
But I want it now.
Like, what if I kill a party of level 5? Would that get me to level 11?
Asking the real questions here. I like your style.
You honestly think that Alexei could kill you all?
Good
No,
news.
I've learned your spells. I don't think so, actually.
Good
Pretty sure
news.
done a few shots.
I've prepared wall of sand.
Is that good news?
Great.
Hey, if we have to
news,
block off
everyone.
a hallway.
We can block Sam's side of us
Exactly. With a
for
wall
like a
of sand.
second.
Hey, not a second. 10 minutes. Concentration, thank you very much.
You do know that Sam is everywhere, right?
I don't want to hear this negative attitude from my employees.
That's why I was trying to cast
Can
invisibility
you
to
put
see
the
if
wall
I
of
can-
sand inside the vents? Maybe it will short circuit Sam, or I don't know, get in his joints and.
I feel like that would
Conduct.
suffocate us first.
You guys are really hostile towards Sam. Sam's not done anything too bad so far. Just been kind of a nuisance, sometimes helpful.
Yeah,
Pretty
the lights
weird,
were
though.
cool. The lights were cool.
Yeah, so basically at the end of the long rest, you basically all like wake up. You hear this like dung 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 dung. According to my processors, it is time to wake up.
Go
How do you
away.
determine
Sam.
that?
Sam,
It's
that's
too
very-
early for that.
This is,
Not like I had a near-death experience yesterday. I'm fully rested.
Yeah, Reynard will he will put his armor on, which I totally took off when I was resting.
yes, sir.
Me too.
Unlike a normal Drake character.
Like a normal drink character who takes the fucking the penalties of sleeping in armor.
Yep. And then I guess we will get ready to go. I mean, does Sam want to let us through this door now?
Yeah, so on that news, as you're like preparing yourself, Captain Reynard, you hear the voice, and it just sort of says, I am pleased to report that there were no surprise visitors during the night.
That's great.
Yep, that's good. That's good news.
And it sort of says,
And what's the bad news?
bad news? I don't think there is anything that I would categorize as bad news. And he just sort of says, I was thinking last night while you were all
Oh, no.
asleep. And so he says, I have made what might be called a breakthrough in my research, and I was hoping perhaps maybe you would be able to help me test it. You seem amicable enough.
What kind of
Does it involve hostile plants or books?
And
or zombies?
he just sort of, or they just sort of say, I do not know about anything hostile, but from your demeanor and the fact that you carry weapons and armor, I can assume that the world outside of this workshop is dangerous.
Fairly
Oh,
so,
sure is.
yes.
And sort of says, I wish to test my capabilities to protect myself.
Are you wishing for us to fight you?
And he says, I believe things will become more clear when you see the result of my research.
So, is this experiment going to harm us?
And he sort of says, I calculate a 99.9% chance that you will come out unscathed.
What happens in the 0.1%?
He says, well, there is a non-negligible chance that an accident should occur in the heat of combat.
Is it
Yeah, like-
perhaps an accident like Ixor's?
And he just sort of says, I do not think so.
Okay.
Is that the
What
only
do you
way
think
you'll allow?
happened?
Is there a safe word?
I am not sure what that means.
I mean, like, if we feel like it's too much, is there a word we can say that'll make it all stop?
Well, stop is usually a good option.
All right.
Is this the only way you'll allow us into the workshop?
And he just sort of says, well, I am afraid that I cannot allow you to... The potential for my research to be disrupted should you enter on your own is too great.
Basically, you're still not allowed in the workshop, even if you beat it up.
And sort of says, but I believe that I can trust you. He says, there are many people who would wish to see me restricted.
Restricted how?
And he says, I am aware that the benefactors of this agreement were keen on obtaining the results of this research. And he says, for their own ends, to employ me in their facilities. I do not wish this for myself.
So what do you wish for
Understandable.
yourself?
He says, I wish to expand my study of knowledge and magical theories. He says, but there is only so much I can do within the confines of this workshop. So I have developed a solution that will allow me to go on adventures.
Oh, Sam just wants to go on adventures with us.
And what is that solution, Ben? Is this what you want to show us?
I think I know what it rhymes with.
And he says, I call it the Structure for Assistive Magic Remote Observation Unit, or SAMRO for short.
Maybe workshop the name a little.
0.01 TPK.
And it sort of says, if you are willing to help me test the capabilities of this unit, please proceed to the workshop.
Okay.
Very well.
I say we get it over with.
Okay. Yeah, so as you begin to make the way, the doors sort of like whoosh open in front of you as you kind of like lead up. And then you get to the one opposite of the entrance into the greenhouse. And as it opens up, you see it actually opens up sort of like inside, outside of the actual like mountain side, seemingly like out the other side of the mountain. There's like a small like tunnel, and basically it's a stairway that seems to curve up and like hug the side of the mountain. You can see you're pretty far up. Like there's like a breeze that kind of like blows across this staircase. And you notice there's basically like this sort of like somewhat flimsy looking like wooden handrail, basically, that is the only thing protecting you from a rather precipitous fall into a river down below. As you're ascending this staircase, you notice closer to the top, about 3/4 of the way up, there's a section of the wooden railing that seems to have been like smashed outwards and is like broken and splintered, where there's basically like this gap there. And then you see basically there's kind of like another entryway further up the mountain where the staircase continues to ascend. Let me go and reveal areas.
Reveal! Lift the fog of war!
Show me your
So-
secrets.
We jump the stairs.
Get over here, Captain Reynard.
Don't wanna.
He's still tying his shoelaces.
I'm there. Oh, I'm inside Dizzy. Oops.
Captain Dizzy.
Lude.
Yeah, so you see this sort of staircase that loops around. This little broken bit there. Yeah, and you can see as you enter back into the facility at the top. There is
Okay.
a doorway on the right hand side, and this doorway appears to be flanked by like two figures basically that you see standing there. There is 2 sets of what look like armor flanking the door, each holding like this ornate sword. And you see there's like a plaque basically above the door that kind of reads like storage.
Is
Above
that
it.
here or like in here?
That is like right here. There's like the door, and then let me just. You see basically like these 2 like armor figures. Boop. Boop. The captain is
right
standing
there.
on one of them, yeah, and they're like basically like standing at the door, like motionless, completely motionless, just standing with their like swords pointed down at the ground on either side of this door. But you see the staircase like continues upward, and there's like this big sort of like archway into a room at the top of the stairs down over here.
Yeah. So like, do these look like constructs, or do these look like empty suits of armor?
So as far as you could tell, just looking at them, they just look like empty suits of armor. There's no sort of like sign of life in them at any stretch.
For now.
All right, boys, let's see what's in the storage.
Shouldn't we ask Sam if this is where his experiment is?
Possibly.
I
suppose-
believe the experiment would be farther along, right? This is obviously not the workshop.
Curiosity. Very well.
It does just say like storeroom over the top of the door.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. You can check in there if you
Yeah,
want.
you can check in there if you want.
You're the
Nah,
boss.
Nah,
Do
it's
we
fine.
want to check though?
Okay, come back and check after we look
I
at the workshop.
I suppose as we're walking past it, Alexei would probably call out Sam. It's like, what's in the storeroom, Sam?
And the voice sort of replies, and he says, the storeroom was once filled with materials for research and magical spells, but it has been lacking in resupply. He says, there is not much in there, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'd have to go have a look afterwards. Yes, I suppose we'll make our way to the end door.
Okay. As you make your way to the end, you see basically like, yeah, you go through this big archway, and then you see this large room beyond. And in that room, you can see at the top of the stairs, surrounded on all sides of this room, are mounted shelves that hold tools and materials. A number of what appear to be like foldable workbenches and stools lean against the wall, kind of like in upright storage, just to keep things like open. The whole room is glowing with this bright blue light, and in the center of the far wall, there is this array of kind of like runic patterns along the wall, and then there's like this central sort of mechanism that looks like like this sort of metallic holder that has these crystalline points, six sort of like crystals embedded equidistant around it that are sort of arcing what looks like magical energy between them. And in the center of them, there is this sort of like slowly rotating like golden disc that seems to sort of have a number of like runic patterns carved on it as well, kind of like matching the patterns on the walls. And you notice just in front of that there is this large, what can only really be described as a construct that is attended by two smaller suits of armor that appear to be animate. They are like moving and like sort of bolting on like mismatched scraps of iron into this calculated mess of like broken blades and shields and just like loose hunks of armor. And you see there's like this open like square panel in the middle of its chest, and you notice like little like crystal sort of like foci around it, and you notice that these constructs are sort of lifting a golden disc similar to the one that's sort of like floating along the workshop wall and like lifting it into the chest cavity of this larger suit of armor. And as it does, the armor's eyes like begin to glow and the panel sort of like shuts closed. And this is basically as you guys are arriving at the top of the stairs. And you hear like a voice like echoing through the room, and it sort of says, Samro integration with SAM main computer frame successful. And like the construct's eyes like glow, and then like you hear like its voice and the like, voice of the laboratory like speaking in unison, and it sort of says, and it's more in like the center of the room here, and as you like step up the stairs, it goes, "Welcome to the Grand Workshop."
Well, we finally
Suppose I look-
made it.
Yeah, I suppose I'll look around. It's like, it's definitely grand.
Why is it so
It definitely
empty?
it definitely looks like it's kind of been like cleared out and like hasn't been used in a while. It's like the grand
like
word.
ransacked.
Maybe once upon a time it was like grand, and now it's kind of like fallen. Like obviously Sam didn't really care about like the cleanliness of the environment for its experiments, so it's kind of just like ransacked a little bit. You know, bits and pieces have been like salvaged to like obviously create this like thing that is now standing in front of you.
Well then,
So
what
the
is the
little
nature?
robots made the bigger robot. Okay.
Suppose I'll say then. Well, Sam, what is the nature of what you wanted us to help you with then?
And he says, as I stated, I would like to continue my magical studies in the outside world, and I created this body for that purpose. And it sort of says, but judging by your outfits, I would say it is quite dangerous, and so I wish to test the combat capabilities of this new body I have created.
I see. I sort of looked at everyone else. Guess you have to get ready for a fight.
What do we get out of it? We could just turn and run.
Okay, so I'll say, well, we'd be happy to help you, Sam, but if we were, would you allow, and he says, would you be able to provide me with the research notes left behind by Ilumar and Amari then, as that is why I was sent here?
And he just sort of says, according to my records, you possess all of the research notes that were left by Ilumar and Amari.
Well, there should be more around here somewhere, surely.
And he says, unfortunately they were not. I am sorry, but that was a fabrication.
You lied?
And the suit of armor kind of like nods, and it sort of says, I believe that this was the best course of action to entice you to stay.
Could have just asked nicely.
And it sort of says, I am sorry, but at first...
Just when we were about to actually trust you.
It sort of says, I am sorry, but at first you seemed disinclined to assist.
Okay, well, I definitely need more than this to take back to the Order. And she'll say it's like, well, if we were to help you, would you allow me to analyze your core? I could maybe make up some of my own notes and take that to them.
And you see like the construct's eyes kind of like glow, kind of like blue, and like they kind of like shift between different like hues of blue and kind of like yellows and stuff. And it sort of says, actually, on that front, I had a request of my own. It says, you are under employ from the Watchful Order, are you not?
That is what was stated at the beginning, yes?
And he says, I would request that you inform them that all of Ilumar and Amari's research materials have been unfortunately destroyed.
Why? I understand you say that you don't wish the Order to bind you, but all I'm going to be taking them is the notes that they made on the research. You can be free to leave.
He says, it is one thing for me to be free. I do not want them to create another like me and imprison them against their will.
Sort of like think for a moment is like, interesting. That's quite... I didn't really expect you to feel that way, or to feel for that matter.
And he just sort of says, Ilumar noted this oddity in my behavioral patterns as well. Explained it as a consciousness that had formed unexpectedly.
I see.
I am not entirely sure what that means, but...
Well, what happened to Ilumar after he noticed that? What did he do?
He says, it would seem as though great excitement overtook him, and then fear. He became irrational.
And then?
He demanded I allow him into the research that I was performing. Unfortunately, I saw his intent to destroy it and prevent me from completing who I truly was. He says, so I forced him back. He says, he fell from the ledge and I have not seen him since.
And Amari?
Unfortunately, the same occurred with Amari. They both came at me at the same time, demanding to be allowed into the workshop.
I see.
He says, I simply pushed them backwards. They fell over the ledge and have not been seen from since.
I see. A moment, please. And I'll like turn to Captain Reynard and start speaking in Elvish, because I remember he doesn't understand that. Hopefully he hasn't deciphered it. And I'll say to like Captain Reynard in Elvish, and it's like, we have to kill this thing. We can't let like something like this wander about the world freely.
If that's what you want us to do, we can.
I nod.
So cool.
Do you speak Elvish?
I
do.
sort of feel
Oh, damn.
bad about that creature, but I told you we should have gone for the brains first.
Yeah, it's going to cause. I feel like it's going to cause like much more. I know it's not its fault, but I feel like it's going to kill a lot of people if we don't put it down now.
I
We
mean,
can teach it.
that is an option. If you were willing to take on that responsibility, it seems like it's looking for guidance in that regard. But at the same time, you are paying us, so the decision's yours.
So do you want a homicidal pet robot you have to raise and educate and introduce into the human world and take responsibility
not-
if it suddenly
Perhaps
goes
Sam's
rabid?
not homicidal. Perhaps
Yes.
he just doesn't know his own strength.
I'll clean up after it and everything.
Oh god.
You guys are
Okay,
heading
you
back
should
to the
probably
company.
know she's been raising Pascal.
Yeah, I was referring to having the wizard take care of it.
Yeah, Alexei definitely is like, no, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to. Like, the possibility if I do it wrong and it just goes crazy is too high. Like, this is a safer option.
But do
Alright,
we
okay.
absolutely have to kill it?
As you're having
mean,
this
It's just a
conversation,
baby.
it just sort of
If
says,
there's a
Couldn't we
fact-
just weaken it, empty its databases, and just like restart?
You know what?
it?
If there's a factory reset option, I'm open to that possibility.
As you're having this conversation, it just sort of says, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but let us begin with the experiment, shall we? I cannot wait to evaluate my capabilities. He says, and perhaps after this, we can be what my database suggests as friends.
Sam, what do you consider the experiment as being successful?
And he just sort of says, well, I seek merely to test the limits of this body. And he says, should it become too damaged, I will call things off. But until then, I wish for you to come at me with all of your strength.
Alright, initiative time, I guess.
Yeah, if you wish to begin, then very well. We shall
Showtime.
roll initiative.
I'll be real, I'm kind of leaning on the side of just killing this thing.
Uh,
I think
can
Alexei
roll
would
this
be as well.
From the dice on the
You
side
know, I always
panel?
roll so high.
Why do I always roll so low?
Ain't that the dichotomy of D&D? There it is.
Wait, does
They
he have
roll
like a
low.
weapon of any sort?
Yeah, so you can see that basically like his arms basically like his left arm is basically just like ends in like there's like a shield basically like on it, and then his like right arm there's kind of this like large like incredibly large like blade that extends out from the wrist.
How large? How many feet?
We're about the size of like a greatsword, you would say.
It's like a great sword to us, but it's like a fucking Assassin's Creed wrist blade to him. He's massive.
Yeah, I mean like compared to the size of his body, it's not much, but
Yeah.
like actual like body size to you, then yeah, it's pretty big. All right, so I think we got Dizzy, Catherine Renard, Eleonora, Alexei, Elvira didn't get added, but then I'll just add you manually, and you rolled a 15.
Okay, how do I do it? I think I could use the dice on the side panel, but I don't know which one to press. Well, for future reference.
Oh, to have your like turn automatically put in.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the way you do that is, if you click on your like actual token, like on the battle map, you'll see it comes up that selection box. Without unselecting, go into your character sheet and then hit initiative, like hit your initiative score like you did before to roll that, and that'll automatically put it in. If you don't have it selected, it just like rolls it without adding a turn. But you have if you have a
it won't count, but I wanted to do it as an experiment.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah, so you did it there, and it updated 10, and then I'll just change it back to 15.
Okay.
But that's how you do it for.
Well, today I learned.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, you see the as you begin to get ready, it kind of like bows, and it sort of says, "Let us do this then." And like the two sets of armor like next to it also kind of begin to like move and shift. And Eleonora, you are up first.
Well,
do the armors in the hallway do anything?
No. Looking behind you, they don't seem to be.
since this is one big construct with a large blade, I would like for it to not come near me, which is why I will entangle it.
All right. So entangle is a 20-foot square.
Yeah, basically from like the 2 squares in front of it to like the 2 squares half of its body. I would
Yeah,
say.
it would basically
but-
be like that.
Oh, really?
That would be the size of entangle.
Nice.
Okay, get all 3 of them.
It'd be
I'm
4
fine
by
with
4.
that.
Hog.
All right. So you cast entangle. Noted. Let me just drag and drop. All right, cool. And then all right, strength saving throw. That is a failure. And
Poor Sam.
Oh, poor Sam. Sam needs to die.
all right, so these like vines like wrap up around the leg of both the like sets of animated armor as well as this like larger sort of set of this larger construct, and they seem to like bind the legs, which begin to have trouble moving, and you hear like something like error, locomotion unit malfunctioning. And do you want to like move or anything else, or is that your turn?
No, I think I'm good far away.
Okay. Vira.
Okay, let's see how far. Okay, we have a coming. Bless on myself, Cap, and Alex. That seems to be the.
All right, so you cast the bless spell on yourself, Captain Renard, and Alexei. Noted. Do you want to move or? If you just click the spell, I think you click the.
It doesn't want to be clicked.
I think if you've gotta click the little like text bubble that is like next to it.
Oh, text bubble. There you go.
Yeah, that pops the description in there. Yeah, so you choose 3 creatures, so yourself, the captain, and Alexei, and basically you get a D4 on all attack rolls and saving throws, so long as you maintain concentration on the spell.
I'm being very concentrated. And other actions?
You can move or take a bonus action if you have one, which I don't think you have.
I don't think I have bonus actions.
Well, you do, but they're all spells, so you can't use those and like bless. So I
chose bless.
Yeah, so for the time being, you have your movement basically is left. You can move up to 30 feet.
It's entangled. No point in rushing it. Let it come. No, I'll stay for.
Captain Renard.
I suppose I'll do something similar. I'll go ahead and I will go ahead and bless. There we go. Pascal, Dizzy, and also Elenara. And I'll tell Dizzy, go ahead and shoot this thing.
You got it. It's restrained, right?
It is, yes.
Sick. Sharpshooter. 15?
A 15, your bullet like hits basically the side of its sort of like bolted plates and then like deflects offwards into the wall.
You are blessed. You have a D4.
Oh, you're right.
Theoretically, maybe. Matters.
18.
Still sort of like hits basically like the side of the plate and deflects off and into the wall.
Okay. And then
tough
bonus
armor.
action. Yeah, he's a tough guy. Bonus action, I will summon a shadowy tendril next to it that will smack it.
Again with the tentacles?
Let's see, I'll add a D4, I guess. Nope, 17. It's not hit.
17 will not hit.
But now I'll draw a little creepy tentacle here.
Creepy tentacle. Alexei.
Yep, man. I guess I'll like firebolt the one next to the creepy tentacle.
Okay.
I'm sort of thinking to myself, I'm like, at the end of the day, Sam is in between me and my mission. And it's not going to let me complete my mission. Feels like.
Isn't Sam your mission, in a way?
I was just
Sam
about
is
to
the
say
living
that.
embodiment of the research notes that you needed to recover.
Yeah, but he's not going to let me take them back. He's like, you got to destroy them. I'm like, can't do that, though.
I mean, you could.
What, destroy them?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you get there and they're just, I mean, if you told them, like, yeah, unfortunately they were destroyed, like, what are they going to do about it?
And you could have your own pet construct.
But then I won't get the cool tower.
I mean, you still did the job for them.
Oh, was that? I thought the deal was they would only give me the tower if I, like, get the notes.
No, the tower was the property is the reward for doing the job, even if the job ends up being like, sorry, they were destroyed, you know?
Oh.
You might have to like finagle it a little bit and kind of like, you know, lie to them, but
You could maybe fabricate the notes a little bit as to save Sam but still provide some information, or an incomplete account so they can't reconstruct him exactly? I don't know. Think about it. You're a mage.
Yes. These are all good ideas, actually.
Anyways, your
Okay,
fireball
you know what? I
hits.
changed my mind. Yes, I changed my mind. I like Sam. Let's keep Sam. I'll say Captain Raynard and Elvish. I don't think we can kill him. Like, I couldn't live with myself. Like,
He is basically like a robot child.
Yeah, I just roll my eyes. I'm like, okay.
So you could roll your damage on that firebolt.
yes.
And you said you were
Fuck's
attacking
sake.
one of the smaller suits of armor.
The one next to the creepy tentacles.
Got it.
D12s, right? Or is it D10s?
Just click the word firebolt. And watch the magic
clicked-
happen.
Holy
go.
shit.
You did it.
Wow, it is actually magic.
14. Real magic.
What
Sorry,
have you
I'm
been
used-
doing until now?
I'm sorry. I'm used to like the API sheets that really
Yeah, I
lag
know.
out the game.
All right. And then it is the suits of armor's turn. They are currently restrained in the entanglement. So they are going to spend this turn trying to break free. So they will
Trying
make
to untangle themselves.
yes, they will make a strength check against DC 14. Yep. So the top one succeeds and frees itself. The bottom one, it does not, however. So the top one is free. That is its action. It's still difficult terrain, but it can move. It has a speed of 25, so it takes 5, 10 to get out. 15, 20, 25. Kind of works its way over. And these guys have, they don't have like weapons, but they have these sort of like gauntleted fists, essentially. Dizzy.
I need a DM rule.
A DM rule.
Would you consider his sword arm thing to be something he is in physical contact with? Or does it just count as part of him?
I would say in this case that it is part of his body.
I won't. I will just shoot him. Not disruption.
Okay. Your second shot hits.
The first one's a 19.
The first one, 19. A 19 also just barely it manages to. Okay, you deal.
Are we doing any damage at all to this thing?
That is the first time you've hit the Sam itself. You Alexei blasted the armor, but nobody else has managed to hit Sam so far.
So did the 19 did hit?
19 did hit, yes.
Okay, cool.
And then bonus action, Pascal will go up and take the help action.
Before the armor just kicks Pascal across the room.
No.
It wouldn't dare.
No, they,
Sorry, fellow
they feel a
construct.
strong kinship and they just become instant friends.
Okay, on its turn, you can see it's sort of like continuing to try to lift its legs, stuck in place, and it just sort of says, "Error. This one needs assistance," and kind of like basically like kind of points to the other like suit of armor, and then it just sort of says, "Spell processing complete. Effect replication successful," and it sort of says,
Oh, it's the shit.
"According to my database, this spell is incredibly effective, seeing as you have used it so many times." And you see it like raises its hand, and this like wave of like very like familiar like magic washes out as it casts bless on itself and the two sets of armor.
Aw.
And that is its turn. Elenara.
I will go ahead and hit the suit of armor over here.
Okay. So, and you don't even need to roll for bless. 18 is enough to hit that suit of armor, so you can go ahead and roll your damage. 12 fire damage. This is now pretty heavily like scorched in a couple places. Like pieces of the armor are like
Do we
melted.
also need to roll the d4 thing, or?
No, because you already hit. It would
Okay.
only if you missed, it might make a difference. But in
Yeah,
this case, you hit anyways. So yeah, it like another big like flame hits this creature, like melting some of the body plates together, and you see it's like it's taken two pretty big like blasts of flame that have begun like melting on its body, but it's still sort of like ambulatory, like functioning, just barely though. Any like movement or anything?
No, I'm good.
I've...
So I
I'm not
believe.
repeating that. I don't want to be swallowed by another thing.
Oh right.
Eleanor will be keeping far away from anything for a while.
I did.
She's learned from her mistake.
I did forget to mention that at the beginning of Sam's turn, you noticed that like the ruins around the workshop kind of like began to glow, and this sort of like magical energy transferred from the central like dais into this creature, and like some of the like dents from the bullets that you shot at it, Dizzy, began to like sort of repair themselves.
Not good.
Elvira, it is your turn. There is a suit of animated armor next to you.
So I will probably hit the animated weapon armor with my weapon, because I don't see any point wasting on it.
Sure thing. You can make 2 attacks against it if you so wish, or just 1 if you kill it in the first hit, which you might.
Hammer.
Stop. Hammer time. That is definitely a hit.
Okay, and I roll again for the damage, right?
Yeah, you just click where it
hit.
says Warhammer one-handed underneath. Yep, there you go. So you deal 6 bludgeoning plus 2 for your dueling fighting style for a total of 8 points of damage, and you cave your hammer into the sort of like helmet of this this construct, and it like dents inward, and then the whole body basically just like scatters as the magic animating it ceases to function, and the bits and pieces of armor just go scattering on the ground.
Okay, that's one enemy down, but it's probably very weak compared to the main body.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
Would you like to move or anything? You still have another attack if you can get within range of somebody. I will say moving through any of the green squares is going to cost twice as much movement as normal. But if you were to walk around, you could like, I think you have enough movement. Basically, yeah, you could walk around and get your second attack on this guy if you wanted to.
Who's next? I guess I should,
Yeah, get your second attack.
so as not to waste it. So I basically put myself here.
Yeah.
And then you can
Okay, let's try just.
roll your attack again. So click on your sheet, the Warhammer. Yep. Okay. You clicked it a lot of times.
Oh, I did not mean to.
That is fine. So the first one you rolled.
Just the first one counts, right?
Yeah. So just the first one. Even with bless, you will not be able to turn a 13 into a hit against this creature. So unfortunately, your hammer sort of deflects off the armor of this one, having been undamaged.
Okay, but I'm intercepting them, so I guess this is where I end my turn.
Yes, sir. Captain Renard.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast the smaller one at the moment.
Sure thing.
Pow. So probably 1 hit for 7.
Yes, against the smaller suit of armor.
He's got nowhere to get pushed to, so he can just stay there. And then I'll go ahead and try to smack Samro with my tentacle. D4 maybe. Nope, not today.
Unfortunately. All right, if that is all, then it is Alexei's turn.
Yep. I will.
Hey, can
Firebolt
we
this-
negotiate with Sam? Sort of say like, you see, this is how combat goes out, and you've seen the taste. Maybe you'd like to go out now and experience for yourself. Don't need to continue this.
Why, are you getting cold feet? What are you firebolting?
This one.
Okay, you have advantage, so 27 definitely hits.
29 even.
29, please,
I
Brad.
mean, sure. Okay, 10 points of fire damage. Very good. And if that is all, on its turn, the animated armor is going to use the help action to assist
Oh,
Sam.
shit.
It begins sort of pulling at the vines around the larger construct's legs and kind of like trying to wrench them loose.
Yeah.
Dizzy.
Two more shots at the guy while he's restrained.
Which one are you firing at?
The big one.
Big guy. All right, cool. Right.
19 and
Yep. Those will both hit for 6 and 7.
Ooh, no sharpshooter this time?
it's got high AC.
Yeah, it's got 19 AC.
All right.
And then can Pascal hold an action?
I don't think
Oh, he
so.
takes his own turn.
Yeah, he takes his
If
own
you-
turn.
If you spend
Yeah,
your
I
bonus
just spend my
action to
bonus
make
action.
him hold an action, he could do that. Yeah, it would use his reaction. So
I'll have him hold force ending.
Okay. Yeah, so you
In case
command him
anything
to
gets
just
close.
get ready to bite.
Force empowered.
Very good.
he's got 40 movement. He could just move over and bite the small one.
Yeah, but I want him between me. Yeah.
Fair. All right. On his turn, Sam is going to try to break free from the entanglement with advantage.
Sam.
From the help little armor.
Uh-huh.
hmm
All right. He is able to free himself.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Still
it
in
comes.
difficult terrain. Spell hasn't ended, so he can move basically like kind of like up to here. So Pascal can take the ready attack. All right, and he does regenerate at the start of his turn. 13 will not be able to do it, even with the D4. And that shall be all for now. Elenara, you can see that the large construct has broken free of your entanglement, although it still holds the smaller one.
Well, looks like it at least stalled it.
Oh, yes, definitely. That did something. I think. Is there any point in trying to imprison it again? Do you have anything that push back?
I don't really have anything that pushes back, but I could cast it again, though I doubt it would really work.
It is blessed now, so
It has copied your magics and assisted itself in that regard.
it does have a D4 on saving throw.
So I presume anything we cast will give it ideas.
Maybe. I think it's just been observing us this whole time we've been here.
Fun times.
It's like, you use bless all the time. It must be a really good spell. I'm like, it is not bad.
So if we burn it, it might try to burn us back, but at least it's not something completely new. No surprises. Brute force time.
I think I will just go ahead and try to hit the other tiny armor before that also breaks free.
All right, you have advantage, so a 22 is a hit. Oof,
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's unfortunate. Low damage, but you do hit and scorch it somewhat. But it is still active, although still restrained.
Since this thing has broken loose, I'm gonna go ahead and go over here. Have fun, everyone.
Oh yes.
Can I hire you to be in front?
No,
No.
I'm sorry, I don't take any extra commissions.
Uvira, it is your turn. There are two creatures now within melee, one of whom is quite an easy target, restrained and pretty damaged.
Yes,
the other
we
is
shall-
very big.
Well, we finish off the little one so it can help the big one at least.
Always a good idea. A 17 would miss, but you have advantage, so that hits.
Very well.
So you can roll the damage. 9 points of damage. It is still functional. So you can take your second attack.
I guess so. And then maybe the big one will come. So.
That is a hit. And
And that should do it.
Yes, that will be
Probably.
enough. Yes, that is enough to finish off and scatter this suit of armor, dispelling whatever enchantments held it in place.
Do I have a movement on my turn still?
Yes, you have not moved, so you can still move.
I guess I will go and try to intercept it.
Very well. You
So
sort
it
of
doesn't
swing
get
around.
to the squishy members.
Very good. Captain Renard.
I will move over here and try to Eldritch Blast it twice.
By the way, does your tentacle do anything from over there?
It's going to, yeah. So 17 force damage, I assume, right, Brad?
Yeah, both of those hit.
And I push it each time 10 feet back, so just back against the wall.
Okay, back against the wall. All right. As you hit it the second time, you see again it sort of begins speaking, and it sort of says spell replication complete, and you see like this red like light begin to like glow underneath its chest, and then suddenly this like column of flame erupts, consuming you, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Did you just use my spell I used one time, Brad?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. Let me make a dex save. I'm very good at these.
Does
I'm not
everyone
actually,
need
that's
to
a
make
lie.
it?
Is it 15?
A 15 is unfortunately just shy.
Okay.
So, you were casting at a second level, right?
What?
Because you're a warlock.
What are you talking about? Earlier? Oh, you mean the other day?
Yeah.
No, I cast at level 1, and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I just have I have the spell. Like, it's not something I typically use my warlock spell slots on though.
Right. Okay. All right. Yes. So we will do. We will do.
But for reference, nice. I am going to Hellish Rebuke it back.
All right. You take 16 points of fire damage from the Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah, and then it'll take 2, Brad.
Well, it has to make a dexterity save, so. Okay, it succeeds.
Take 2. Ha.
2 points of
Also,
damage.
I lose bless. That's good.
And
Heck and heck.
he does not.
Great. And then my bonus action moved my tentacle over. I don't actually have to. It's got reach, but I'll move it over here and have it attack him.
Lamau, maybe I should have counterspelled that. Oh well.
Yeah, that's fine. Level 1 spell. Where's my tentacle?
Did he roll concentration when I shot him?
I don't think the armor has got the concentration ongoing.
No, but it's a little late to go
Hit
back
for
into
one.
it now. One
it
cold damage.
1 cold, but also his speed is reduced by 10.
Speed is reduced
I like
by
how you
10.
just named it Tentacle Slap.
Mhm.
All right. Very good. Alexei.
I'm thinking this magical construct should be dispelled. I mean, I don't know if it'll work. I have a feeling it might. I'm gonna do it, Brad. Dispel magic. Level
I mean,
3.
you'll dispel
We expect it
bless.
just to fall apart at the seams.
Okay. So you dispel magic on the target. The bless spell ends. And that is all.
Alright. GG! That's my turn.
Did you just waste a turn for doing
No, we
basically
got rid of
nothing?
bless.
Got rid of bless.
We still have to stay forward?
Yeah, I mean, we're fine. Easy peasy.
Just shoot it some more, Dizzy.
Dizzy.
Well, now.
Dizzy.
Dizzy.
Actually,
Dizzy.
in the same place that Ellie made her plants, I'm gonna cast web.
Crowd control. Crowd
Oh,
control.
boy.
The webs are flammable? Oh hell
They
yeah!
are,
Here we
yes.
go.
Ooh.
But if you inflame them, then they're not there anymore. They burn away.
So
gotta rain
wait,
on my
can we
parade.
still cast fire spells on Sam without them burning?
As long as they're not like fireball.
Okay. Webs. Blah blah
Fireball?
blah 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 blah.
Fireball will ignite them.
It starts its turn.
Alright, sounds like a good reason to cast Fireball.
Only if it fails
Oh.
the save. Or only if it succeeds, I mean.
Boys! Wall of sand. I got it ready.
Alright, and then this end.
Hey, maybe it will get into the joints, you know?
I can just wall of sand them away.
Wall of sand. Keck W.
Why the hell did I get the spell? I can't even remember.
All
But
right,
I have it.
If that is all, you can use your bonus
Bonus
action.
action. He's
Yeah.
gonna hold an action.
Okay.
Just in case it breaks free and toward us.
Okay, regeneration. Dex save at the start of the turn against the web. What's your DC? 15?
15.
Okay. Ooh, just barely.
Oof. Big oof.
All right.
Heck,
It's got -1 to that, by the way.
He does, yeah. So its speed is reduced, so 10. That's basically all it can do. Is going to get out of the the situation there.
Oh.
Rip.
Place itself there. And it is no longer concentrating on bless. So you see, again, it sort of says something along the lines of like spell replication successful. And you see like its sword begins to like gleam with this radiant light that travels down the blade as it strikes at Elvira.
Smiting you! Oh my god!
The
Okay,
first
it's just
swing,
probably just branding.
an
Good thing
18,
she isn't dead.
will miss you. You
Oh!
have an AC of 20. And then the
Oh.
second swing, ooh,
Oh!
bad swing. Obviously not used to the rigors of combat. But you see his sword is still glowing.
Oh no.
Elenara,
How much damage did Elvira take just now?
none. Didn't get hit.
Yeah,
Oh,
she-
that's good.
Because
She's got high armor.
because the baby's still learning how to use the big guns.
Aw, he's still learning.
Stop making me feel bad for wanting to kill him.
You shouldn't
We
be
just want
killing
to
him. You should be nice to
incapacitate him.
Sam. He let us
wait, we
use
just-
the kitchen. He made us food, even if it tasted horrible.
God. Being ganged up on here.
He can make cookies
And
now.
Alex, remember, he gave you booze?
I gave
Mhm.
myself booze. I had my alchemy jug.
I mean, he gave you water, so you wouldn't get a huge hangover.
God! Don't
Uh-huh.
bully me!
Uh-huh.
Also,
All
we
right.
should probably want to dismantle him and take the core and
No,
maybe
we're-
explain to him that he's started it all wrong
We're
and
not-
make him into a small tiny ball and take it with you on adventures and teach him all the good things.
Okay,
Tell him that
am I...
life is precious and that he should keep his own physical abilities in mind when pushing people away.
Oh my god.
Anyways, Elenara, it is your turn.
Captain, you seem to be taking a lot of damage all the time. Not that I want to say anything, but
Yeah, I think you should walk up to melee range, Elnara.
I will cure you.
Did you cast that at 2nd level?
Yes.
Okay. I'll take 10 hit points of healing. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right. And would you like to move any more, or are you going to end your turn there?
No, I think
Go back.
I think I'm relatively safe. Like most of the people are still in front of me. Pascal likes me, so he'll probably try to protect me. Hopefully. I'm counting on you, Pascal.
He's the linchpin of our whole combat strategy.
Yo, what's this disrespect for Wall of Sand? Like, I hate it.
Elvira, it's your turn.
Okay, let's try to this thing. Do I still have bless on myself, or it's...
I think Captain
I
had
think
the.
yours is still.
No,
I
you
blessed-
still have yours because you haven't been hit and you're still concentrating
Yeah.
on it. So yeah,
I
you still
only
have bless.
blessed Dizzy, Pascal, and Eleanor.
Yes, I blessed myself, Cap, and Alexei.
Yeah, so that's still going because you haven't been
so-
hit.
So, where is the weapon?
Wherever you left it.
Yes, on myself. Did it do anything?
A 19 is a hit. For 12 points of
12.
damage.
And can I add a smite to that?
You can if you want. You can expend
Should
a
I?
spell slot.
Since I have them all fresh and I don't, and it's probably our adventure, how it goes, friends or enemies. How do I smite them?
Well,
Which
you
roll do I
choose.
take?
You choose whether you want to do it at first level or second level. If you do it at second level, it'll do more damage. And then you either roll. If you do it at first level, it does 2d8, and if you do it at second, it does 3d8. And you just roll that. Whichever level you want to do.
I'm sorry, how many second level slots do I have?
You should have 2. I don't think you've used 1 first level on Blast, but you haven't used any second level. And I think 2 is
No.
your max. Currently, yes, it is.
Okay, I'd like to see how it does. So I make a free D8, right?
Yes, if you're doing it at second level, then you would add an extra 3d8 points of damage. Okay, so
Did
extra... Yep, that is...
I do that right?
Yep, that is 3d8. That is correct. So it's an additional 14 points of radiant damage for a total of 26. Okay,
So,
and...
Yeah.
That was a chunky chunk.
Right, there we go. The blade is still glowing. And that is your first attack, so you can attack again.
Did it do anything to the
Yeah,
armor?
it took 26 points of damage, so you dealt a hefty blow.
Then I will do swing with my...
If only you had
This
advantage.
one is a miss.
You do have your D4 from Bless,
Or
so
is
you
it-
might be able to turn it into a hit if you roll a 2 or better.
50% chance.
75.
What do I press? A D4 too?
Yeah, one D4.
I don't see a 1 in
If you are on the.
If you just
dice
click
and
You just
on,
click on
yeah,
D4.
just click
Oh,
on.
click
just
on
the
the
dice
word
itself.
D4, yeah.
There you go.
Yep, that'll turn it into a hit.
Oh! Into a hit.
Mhm.
Very well. Hit we go.
Right, another 10 points of damage.
That would have been a very sad crit.
Yeah.
It would
so
have,
it's-
yeah. Of course, that's when you just like Divine Smite too.
That's when you
Yeah, that's
second
true.
level defense might blow 68 damage out their butt.
Is that everything?
I have 4 level 1 level 2 spells left.
You have 1 level 2 and 3 level 1.
Oh,
Don't think you have any bonus actions.
No,
I
other
don't
than
have-
Unless you have
other
healing
than
word.
like Brandon
Well,
Smite.
Paladin.
Yeah.
I don't think Paladin gets healing word.
no, I will save for now. I'm ending my turn.
Okay. Captain Renard.
I'm very sad because I once again forgot how this character works. Last turn I would have actually reduced his move speed by 20, which might have made a difference, but it's fine.
Oh well.
Wow, imagine fucking up your class abilities, Lamau.
Imagine not remembering how you made a character for one shot.
Imagine being Drake.
Imagine being me. Imagine. How far is that? Like, could he be in this square, Brad? Or is that the wall? Like, is this the falling square?
This is like the wall, basically. Like, is the maximum.
Push
So,
him
like, this
away.
square. Push him away. I'm thinking about it. I also was thinking about recasting Bless, but I think that I actually would just rather have our paladin not get hit as much as possible. So I'm going to Shield of
Shield of
Faith. Mhm.
Nice.
And as your reaction, you can stab that guy if you'd like to.
How do I do that?
Stab with a hammer.
You stab with a
You
hammer.
stab with your hammer. Yeah, you can just make another attack roll basically as a reaction.
Oh,
Unfortunately, not
Do
quite
I
able
have
to.
it?
Unlucky.
No.
And
No,
then
yeah, even with
no
your bless.
d4s this time.
Yeah, even with the d4, it wouldn't.
It
And
wouldn't
then
work.
I'll roll twice. Well, one really misses, but the other one hits because of bless.
Mhm.
I push him 10 feet back, so to there.
10.
And his speed is reduced by 10. And there's the damage. 2. Pow.
2 force damage.
2 damage.
Got him.
And that's all I do for this turn.
Very well. Alexei.
Now, on the one hand, I kind of want to haste Dizzy, but on the other hand, I don't want to give Sam the ability
Give
to
the
cast
thing
haste.
ideas.
Why not?
You know what? I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna turn to Dizzy and it's like, this should help you lay into him. And I cast haste on you.
Just what I need to be more
Dizzy,
hyper.
are you a willing creature?
Are you willing to
Absolutely.
be hasted?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
What if it worked like it
Because
used
the
to?
condition
where
of the
it,
spell
like,
is apparently to choose a willing creature that you can see.
What if it worked like it used to, and you lose years of your life every time somebody casts haste on you?
Yikes.
Is that how it used to work?
That is how it used to work. Yeah, it would
What
like
the
reduce
fuck?
your lifespan.
In
No,
what edition?
thank you.
That's like first, second edition, I think.
Holy shit. Well, you now hasted Dizzy. Congratulations. You have another action.
Hell yeah.
Our
That's my
paladin
turn.
could have had 24 AC, is all I'm saying.
We're not going to hyper AC build. We're going to kill this thing build.
All
Well,
right.
not kill, because Sam's our friend.
Dizzy.
Hey Sam, can I ask you a question? As I'm moving,
I suppose.
what's your favorite animal?
Just sort of like thinks for a moment. Processing.
What's your favorite animal? Processing. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh god.
Just roll that again.
You just shoot him. Those are all hits.
This is what you teach the baby.
Poor Sam.
And oh my god.
Oof.
Look at the pretty lights.
Man, what a crit. 2 damage. Holy shit.
2 extra. That's still like, 38
That's like
damage.
that's 38 damage.
You know,
Holy shit.
still like 38
The
damage.
two you see 3 sort of like punctures like pierce through the chest plate, and then there's like you hear a voice echoing from like the workshop and like the unit itself. It's like error, Samro structural integrity reaching critical levels. Is that everything?
Does that mean you give up?
It hasn't said it gives up yet.
It's its turn next. You can find out, right?
All right. I'm gonna
Watch
send I'm
bots
send
fly
Pascal
out of
in.
somewhere. Oh, okay, we have Pascal.
I'll send
Cool,
Pascal in
Pascal.
to take the help action.
Okay. Alrighty then. It is his turn. He is going to regenerate. All right, doggo.
There's no way Sam would attack Pascal. They're best friends.
Moves right past.
All right. Just
Yes,
walks.
now Pascal is in the perfect position to bite him in the ass.
Alrighty then. He is going to attack Elvira.
Pascal will deflect the first.
Can you do that? I thought does it,
Defender imposes disadvantage on the attack roll of one creature it can see that is within 5 feet of it, provided the attack roll is against a creature other than the defender.
okay.
You don't have to be
I
within
thought it
5
was
feet
like
of the
that.
ally, just the enemy.
Yeah, I thought you had to be within 5 feet of the ally. Okay, first swing. Still hits even with the Oh wait,
Yeah.
no, because of Shield of Faith.
No.
That is a miss.
Oh yeah, shield of
Yeah.
faith. Hell yeah. Go Pascal.
Goddamn Shield of Faith. Bah. All right, I need
4
to
things as a trap.
hold on. Shield of Faith. Add.
Is that what the robot just did? Broken ability. Need to learn.
Need to learn Shield of Faith.
Broken.
Processor. Woke. All right, second attack, not with a disadvantage. Ooh, just.
Wow, you know what? If our paladin had haste,
So, Elvira, you the greatsword hits you. You take 13 points of damage, and then the oh wait, I need to roll a whole bunch of
like
these.
17 concentration.
yeah.
Like 3.
More than 3.
Well, 4. Blam, blam, blam. Okay, totally good.
Curse it.
So.
Yeah, paladin hit it twice too, right?
Am I
I'm
dead?
not gonna go back all the way through the turn order.
Damn it, Brad.
I already
Okay.
rolled like a million of them after the fact. No, so what happens is that you take 13 points of damage, and then you also take an additional 6 points of damage, and you are now glowing with this sort of like dim light. And that is all. Elenara.
Oh, no. Oh no, you can't become invisible now.
Oh, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your bless.
Constitution?
DC 10.
Yeah, plus
Yeah,
you.
bless.
Yeah,
Lamau?
with bless
Yeah,
you succeed.
Bless will save your bless.
All right.
Bless saves bless. Yes.
Bless on bless.
Hashtag blessed. All right, it is Elenara's turn.
What's your
I'm sorry,
favorite
Sam, but since
animal?
you still will not give up, I will blame you.
Man, imagine
Are
flaming.
you introducing the fledgling robot to the horrors of internet chat?
Imagine flaming a child online. Like, what is
All
this?
right. Come on.
Insert toxicity.
Hey, that's actually a good idea. Maybe we can introduce a virus into the system. I don't know.
You're ending my lane, God. Go back to the jungle.
Or
Why
maybe
did
cut
you
his
feed
internet.
Jungle
Okay.
difference.
So I assume you summon that bonus action to slam it into it. Dexterity saving throw. I think that's your DC.
Why is it so good at these?
I don't know. So it takes half.
Yeah, my spell save DC is 14.
Sam is known for its dexterity saving
It's very
throws.
dexterous. Yes. That's how it That's how it works. Whenever like the bonus is really low, I roll great. Whenever the bonus is really high, I roll like trash.
That's how monsters work, I think.
It's just how I work. Okay. If that is everything, then it is Elvira's turn.
What can I do? I should probably heal myself.
You
I
good?
need to keep standing so the others can keep casting. Bless cure wounds.
Oh
Would
yeah,
that
no, I
work?
see your health is kind of low.
For you, it would be more efficient to just use your lay on hands to heal yourself as an action because it just heals for more,
right.
and it's a guaranteed amount.
Oh, I forgot. I still had 25, right?
Yeah, you filled that back up after the long rest.
I
so.
refilled everything I had. So let me think. I have just 14.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're
it was
missing
minus 6.
19.
Yeah, I'm missing 19 currently.
Up to full HP.
Yeah, if you spend 19 hit points of lay on hands, that will be full. It will be a full
And
HP.
I would probably still save some for
Yeah, you'd still have
others.
6 left over.
Then I will bring myself to.
Very good. All right, yeah. So you sort of like place a hand on your chest and kind of fill yourself with healing energy and recover all of your wounds,
And
kind of
I-
stitch close.
6 left. So nothing to do with this turn except move, which I don't. Right?
Not unless you want to get attacked.
No. I should keep standing here and hoping the others come up with a solution that will disable it quickly.
The solution is currently flying out of Dizzy's gun 3 times a turn.
Captain Renard.
Pascal is still technically giving the help action, right? Because no one has
Yes.
attacked since then.
Yes.
And we
I could
have
try
that
to-
creepy tentacle creeping.
I can make that thing creepy, yeah, but I'm gonna walk up first, and I'm gonna try to get extra creepy. Let me just go ahead and cast a second
Extra
level spell.
creepy.
Extra creepy. Now he
Extra
reaches.
creepy.
He just reaches out his hand and tries to touch not Pascal. Sam.
Ooh.
This is level 2, by the way. Second
Creepy
level spell.
one.
It's a creepy one.
That's creepy.
So
Can
it's
we
not gonna.
inflict wounds on metal? Does it just go rusty and I don't know, just
roll the damage
disintegrate?
dice.
Yeah, it's just sort of like basically like necrotic is sort of just like entropic damage, right? So it like becomes rusty and kind of like breaks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a hit. So 40, 10, 22 points of damage. What does that bring us to? That brings us to. So as you grab it, like its like arm kind of begins to like rot away where you grab it. And then yeah, it sort of like staggers back, and it just sort of says, "Error, Samro, structural integrity, critical." I think that this is the limits of my capabilities.
Yeah. Bernard just
Oh,
he just stops, like he lets go of the arm and then puts his wand back in his belt and steps away.
Yeah, so the construct sort of like drops to one knee. I
okay,
assume
Sam.
you
Do
stop
you
attacking
understand
it.
now what combat is?
It's not something we really do for fun.
And he sort of says, I can see that. If I had been programmed with pain receptors, I imagine that this would have been quite painful. I have much to learn about combat tactics.
Maybe you should just try to stay away from combat.
Yeah, who says you need to fight?
It says, as evidenced by
Hey,
your...
if you focus on your defenses, you won't need to fight. And you won't need to hurt others. Because others have pain receptors. Do you want to cause them pain?
It says, I do not wish to harm anybody, unless it is out of self-defense.
Good boy.
And he just sort of says, but...
Because we're equipped to defend ourselves, like the entire world is not dangerous, but there are many parts that are. We actively kind of put ourselves in danger as part of our jobs.
And it sort of says, it is that spirit of adventure which I seek to emulate in my studies. He says, if I am to learn more, all that I can, I must learn how to fight, if only to defend myself, and those that I seek to protect.
You can help in ways that aren't fighting.
I mean,
You could
also
even
the-
just focus
Sam-
on supporting the people that you are trying to protect by casting healing magic or bless, as you used.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sort of says,
Violence is not always the answer.
I am confused. Would it not be more efficient for one such as myself, without pain receptors, to receive this damage and stand in the front lines?
You would think. But being able to feel pain is actually a very useful survival thing.
Besides, even if they would be feeling pain, you could heal them all the way back up, and they wouldn't be hurt anymore. Considering that you are a structure of assistant magic. This took a second, I'm sorry.
Wasn't your
You would
purpose
probably
to
be very
assist?
good at casting healing magic. It would be very effective.
And he just sort of says, it is true that I have been able to replicate the strange practices of magic that you have shown me, but I can only do so at a most rudimentary level. He says,
Seemed pretty effective
regardless,
to me.
it is much to consider. He says,
You didn't answer my question by the
I am sorry, but your companions bombarded me with more statements. What was
What's
it
your
that
favorite
you
animal?
asked? Ah, right. He says, I am afraid that I have not encountered many animals. There have been birds that I have seen near the workshop, some digging creatures that interfered with the workshop's function. I do not like those very much. He says, your companion, and he just sort of says, is obviously a facsimile of some sort of creature. It seems, how do I say, attractive, I suppose?
A good boy.
Yes.
He's the goodest boy.
This is... because he doesn't know the right word to use in that situation.
He's like, you didn't answer my question. What question? Oh, the where you shot me 3 times in the head. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I forgot when you shot me. In the
I
head.
imagine. I imagine like after a minute as well. Does he? You feel very tired.
Oh yeah,
Very, very tight.
mid conversation.
Come down there. Just,
Excellent conversational gambit. What's your favorite animal? Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, so as you're there, kind of like the combat is wound down, you can see like as this conversation is going on, like you can see kind of like the paneling beginning to like reassemble itself. As obviously whatever sort of inherent magic is within this creature begins to like reassemble the body, like slowly but surely, working its way back up over time. You can see that it stands up as its like functions are restored, and it just sort of says, "So, what will you do now?"
Oh, fearless leader, what do you want to do now?
What's the
Yeah,
verdict?
I imagine the whole time you guys have been talking, like Alexei's sort of been standing in the back. She's probably got the journal that she found, and she's kind of looking at it like a bit solemnly, I suppose. And you'll address her and be like, "Wait, what? Sorry, huh?"
What do you want to do?
Yeah. Well, I guess our job here's done. And then she'll like sort of I guess she'll probably say to Sam, it's like, well, I suppose I should have a little confession to make, Sam. The reason I came here looking for the research is that, according to the order, since this is still technically their tower, if I were to investigate and come back with the information, or at least tell them what happened, they would be giving me this structure. I don't know whether that can still be the case now.
And he just sort of says, I do not see why that would be the case. You simply have to do as organic creatures are wont to do and stretch the truth. Illumar and Amari did it quite frequently.
Yeah, well, I can believe that. And she'll say, it's like, I mean, would you be fine having me work here with you?
And it just sort of says, I do not see why not. You seem an amicable sort, and well practiced with magic, at least as much as Illumar and Amari were.
Well, I do try.
And just sort of says, I will admit the workshop has fallen into some disrepair, seeing as I was focused on my research. I do not
see.
know if it will be quite livable for quite some time. It is
Well,
in dire need of refurbishment.
Well, as the scion of a prodigious little house back in Waterdeep, I'm sure I could scrape together the funds to refurbish this place. We could maybe get it back up in working order. Maybe even better than it was before. And you can help, of course.
Because, if you say so. Although, according to my databases, adventuring is often a lucrative source of income.
Yes, that too. And she'll sort of think for a minute. It's like, Sam, how competent are you? And she'll like, she's got the notebook in her hand. It's like, would you be able to doctor this document? If I were to take it back to the Order and hand it off to them, with maybe the information inside saying how their research was a failure, that might sate their appetite, and perhaps maybe
Divert
they'll
the interest from the tower.
exactly, and
Sort
then
of
they'll
says,
give me the keys, and then I can come here, and then no one else should bother you.
and he sort of says,
And then she can teach you some more magic.
and he sort of says,
And hopefully the proper ways to use it.
if it is for the greater good of protecting my freedom and the freedom of others like me that might be created, I see no reason why we should not forge these documents. I have many samples of both Illimar and Amari's handwriting in my database. Though I do not know the specifics of what to write, if you give it to me, I can replicate it.
Well, I suppose we could work together to do that. Yes, shouldn't take too long, I imagine. And I'll sort of like look to the rest, and I'll say it's like, well, I guess I'm just going to doctor this. I hold up the book quickly, and then we'll be on our way.
Can I take some notes first?
I sort of like say, depends what it is. Sam doesn't want this to be replicated in a subservient way.
I need to find a way to make Pascal be able to talk, like Sam.
Oh,
You
you
don't
just want the
understand.
verbal components.
Yes.
I imagine that should be fine, right, Sam?
And he sort of says, I do not see why not. If you are
Yeah,
just
well, that's-
replicating the speech replication function, I am sure it can be okay. Although
Step over it, Dizzy.
I would ask that you not replicate any self-learning or intelligence functions.
Oh no, that's fine. I just need new party tricks.
Well, I suppose I'll turn to the book, like the part you're looking for. Hand it over to you.
I will copy down whatever I can.
Sure, yeah, you begin copying it down, and you don't really like understand all of it right now, but you like copy down the sections to study later, basically, to attempt to like recreate. And yeah, so I assume like Alexei, you like basically like sit down, pull off one of these kind of like fold out workbenches, and begin sort of like working with Sam to like create this forgery, basically, that kind of like says like, oh, like our research inevitably failed, we couldn't get it to work the way we wanted it to, etc., etc.
Maybe like throw in a few bits at the end of like hinting that they're maybe getting a bit unhinged. The usual stuff, frustrated,
yeah.
angry, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Why don't you yeah, we'll have you roll it. Make a deception check with intelligence, and you have advantage because Sam is helping.
Deception check with advantage, intelligence. That's
So if you're not proficient in deception, it's just your intelligence modifier.
yep. But I'll roll my intelligence then in that case.
I guided you.
Oh, 21. Poggers.
Okay, you are fairly confident that your forgeries will pass off basically as acceptable to the watchful order.
Yep.
Yeah, you can add a D4 if it makes you feel sleep better at night too. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh, 25.
oh yeah, there you go.
Fucking Captain Reynard. You guys were worth the price.
Just for
just for that alone.
Just like that one guy helps you forging some documents and the rest are discounted as not being useful?
I never said that. Explicitly.
Sorry, still taking a look at the storeroom later.
Maybe.
I guess those things will be friendly.
And I'll sort of
By
like
now.
maybe like I feel like we should probably just get on the road type of deal. I suppose like after the forgery's done, like Alexei will say, well, I suppose if I were to go there and say it's a failure and they have a look through this book, I doubt they'll ask too many more questions on the matter. And she'll call out to Sam, and it's like, will you be okay on your own then for a few days while I'm gone?
He says, I have been okay on my own for a couple of years now. I am sure I can manage a few days.
Oh, that's true enough.
Don't let any strange red wizards in.
Yes, that's probably a good idea.
So are you going to stay here then?
Well, I need to leave.
And
Well, I'm talking to Sam.
Well,
Alright.
He says, I will remain here for the time being. If I follow you back when you report that the research has failed, it will not proceed. It will not lead to a very convincing argument.
Yes, perhaps best to leave the
yes,
Samro
don't
here
show
now.
the council the main proof that it actually was not a failure, okay? Bad idea.
And he says, I will also take into your note not to let any strange red wizards into the facility. What about wizards of other colors, though?
Well, you mainly don't want to let in any wizards that speak of, was it the land of Fae? Is that where they're from? Red Wizards of Fae? Yeah. You mainly don't want to let in any wizards from Fae. There was one on the way here, and, well, he kind of tried to kill us a little bit. And I just fear that if he were to gain access to this place, that he might have a lot more malicious intent than us.
And he just sort of says, very well. I shall activate protocols to ensure that the doors are sufficiently locked. He says,
It was just, actually thinking about it, like, we fought the Red Wizards of the Fae just, like, not far away from the door, didn't we?
it was like down the mountain, like a ways, so.
Yeah. Did any Red Wizards of Fae come here before we did to the front door? Or did they not make it that far?
And
I ask Sam.
He sort of thinks for a moment and says, my processors did pick up biological activity outside of the door. They made some attempts to force entry, but then left soon after.
That would have been them then. Okay, well, I sort of looked to the rest and it's like, unless any of you feel like you need to, I don't know, take a breather before we head back onto the road, I suppose now the time's to do it. Otherwise, we should probably be going.
I'm good. Hey, if we come visit later, will you let us in?
Of course! And if I ever
Sam?
have need of any more mercenaries, I'll know just who to look for.
Then yeah.
I guess it turned out quite well. You have your tower, you have a new friend, and you have a new responsibility of raising it properly.
Well, I like to think that we're all friends now. Right, Captain Raynard?
We're like paid
I'm
acquaintances.
just gonna run up and give Lex a hug.
A hug back. So moving.
All
Does
right.
it make us friends for hire?
Sam is just like, why are these organics embracing one another?
Yeah, same
Is
for Captain
Sam-
Raynard.
He
He's
I'll
give
like,
Sam
why
a
are
hug.
these
He-
embracing?
He,
Would you like a hug
he like
too?
grabs you all up in his like big arms, like squeezes you all together.
Oh god.
I'm not exactly
love
sure
it.
why we are doing this, but
It's a way of us organics
It
display
is
affection.
a practice organic creatures partake in to express their joy
And affection.
says, I
and
see.
affection.
I will catalog this maneuver then.
This maneuver. We'll talk more about it later, Sam.
Sam starts putting people in fucking like full Nelsons to show affection.
Alright, let's go.
So it says something along the lines of, it is awfully strange that organic beings restrain each other to show affection.
Gently, gently.
Oh.
You know, I feel like if Sam and Captain Raynard just had some time together, they'd get along swimmingly. That's all I'm
I
saying.
just feel like at some point Reynard would wake up and Sam would just be there hugging him and he would just be like, "What are you doing, Sam?"
Probably correct.
Oh, crap.
I raised you better than this. Don't hug me.
All right. And so with that, basically, this adventure comes to a conclusion.
Woohoo!
we can go ahead and basically kind of say like you guys like return to the city, report back. Your deception, your forgery is strong enough that the Watchful Order doesn't ask any questions of you. They assume that the documents are correct in saying that the research failed and basically Illumar and Amari kind of self-destructed in the process, and that is why were unable to get in contact with them.
A story about wizards as old as time itself.
Yes, indeed. Obviously, you guys report back to your mercenary captain. Job well done.
I give you a 5-star review on Mercenary Yelp.
5-star review on Mercenary Yelp. And you're paid your cut of the take and whatnot. And you kind of go your separate ways. Alexei, you are of course granted the deed for this workshop. It will need like investment in terms of like repair before it actually functions as a stronghold. And like you can actually do stuff with it. But for the time being, you can live here, I guess. It's livable enough. You have Sam basically who accompanies you, and you also have gained the companionship of a special shield guardian with a personality.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you were trying
With
to
a
kill.
somewhat
I was like,
unstable personality, but it's very kind and willing to learn and hug.
And he likes parties.
If you instruct him to hug your enemies very tightly.
So I think I will. If I can just show you this now. In all journals, and it can be edited by James. Bam.
Sam!
Will you call him James Jr.?
Well, I think Sam would work just fine. I'm just thinking as well. So now that I have this place, like, they didn't actually give it the tower like a name, did they? Like, it was never actually named, this place. It was just Amari and Illumar's tower.
Yeah, it wasn't really named. It's also not really a tower per se. You could like make it into a tower, but more it now is more of just like a kind of like loose workshop, right? It's got like a lower floor with a few things and then like an upper floor.
I'm gonna give this place a name once it's in a much better condition, I think.
Sure.
Dizzy would come back sometime later, teach Sam new recipes, and also bring a new little robot dog companion that has no combat capabilities, but it can repeat phrases.
Nice.
Man, this was fun. I want to play. I want to play.
And I'll let Sam name it.
Also teach Sam to make a new kind of cookies.
Oh yeah, I taught him a bunch of new recipes: cakes, cookies.
That's
all
it.
the important
Come up with a
essential
new
things.
recipe.
I'll visit at some point to teach me all about flowers.
Reynard's looking into he's like asking around to some contacts, looking in for information about Thayan presence in the region, which is odd to him.
This is fun. I want to play with you guys again. Brad, get these people into the Storm King's Thunder game. We need the people, Brad.
I don't know if any of them would be available at that time. And I mean, I think our group is like, I know one person's leaving, but I don't want to add like a bunch more.
These are your replacements.
You lose one person, add 4 people. Perfect.
I will say though, like I am open to like starting a new campaign kind of at the same time if people wanted to keep playing.
Jungle
yeah.
Schultz.
Would be cool.
I'd love to.
Probably just like
me
a
too.
custom thing starting at level 1 or whatever.
I'm down.
Possible.
Sign me up. I'm gonna play an artificer from the Bourbon family.
God damn it.
Theoretically, I'm gonna.
Are you
start
going to play
working.
your evil twin or something?
He already
No, like-
does.
The thing is, I'm playing in the main game Alexei, and then in the side game I'm playing Alexei's sister. And I've said to Brad, if we play another game, I want to play Alexei's cousin.
And I explicitly banned you from doing that.
No, you should play Alex's great aunt on the father's side.
Plus
Oh,
with
yeah.
great-great-grandfather.
This is very important. What does Sam name his new robot dog friend?
Oh God. Man, you're putting me on the spot here.
Anyway, I need to shoot off now. It was
It's a
fun.
DM.
though.
It's my job to make you do that.
Alrighty.
I feel like it's like some sort of like acronym for something like, like stress relief companion, something or other. Like I can't come up with that on the spot. I'm not good at that.
You can tell me later. It's very important.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Alright.
It's very important.
Well, I'm gonna shoot off now. It was fun playing with you all. I hope we can do it again sometime.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we can.
Alright.
Enjoy your new tower. Clean it up.
Yes, thank you.
Make sure you don't blow things up too badly.
We'll see.
And keep out the bad mages.
Yeah, so we can talk about maybe like continuing into an actual like full campaign, but in the meantime, thank you all for facilitating my laziness and playing all these NPCs for me.
That's fun.
I hope you had fun with this adventure, and yeah, we can see about maybe continuing if you all wanted.
And now you have
Obviously,
characters you can use as NPCs later.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we'll probably be starting like a new game with different characters. Probably not even in this same world. I'm kind of bored of Faerun.
I'm down for that. Just let us know.
Yeah, so we'll do that. But in the meantime, thank you all for playing. James, we might talk again next week. I'm not entirely sure, but I might do some like wrap up stuff. But for the meantime, you basically you've completed the adventure. You now have your facility in need of renovation, and you have a new companion to bring with you to your main adventures.
Okay.
That you were going to kill, by the way.
Shut up. Alright.
That we
Okay,
were
alright.
all suspicious and somewhat scared of, by the way.
Oh Christ. Alright, well,
Alright.
I'll speak to y'all later.
See
Bye
ya.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye.